I might not have my camera on this whole time because it is, but still though, it is a very valuable class. We're going to go right through the steps of it. And our next class too will give us another level into Canva, a level that's for video and like stories and so forth, kind of learning those hacks. So stay tuned for next week as well. And without further ado, welcome everyone. Today is August 16th. This is Canva 101. And my name is Araceli Esparza, she, her, and Aya. And you are at our Canva 101 class. What do I hope to take away from the class today? I'm a writer, so I want to know how to incorporate words inside of an image that doesn't make it look too wordy, but just the right balance. I think knowing from a graphic designer like how to create that balance between word and image. Uh, yeah, but I'll pass it on. Oh, and I see Miriam wrote here. Do you mind if I say it for you, Miriam? Miriam, she, her pronouns, and I hope to take away an ability to have some fluency with Canva and play with less fear. Yeah, feel that. And Jetta or Gauri, feel free.
Hello, everyone. That's in the class today. My name is Yaja Brooks. Mi nombre es Yaja Brooks. And today we're going to be working with Canva 101. We're going to basically be learning how to make an ad with the app and kind of like get you used to navigating through the app so then you can later on work with your own products.
I didn't say Gaudi's sorry, yeah, I didn't say Gaudi's
Oh.
intro. She's pronoun do you want to say it, Gaudi, or would you mind me saying it for you? You want me to say it? Okay. Gaudi, she, her. I hope to learn a little more than I know. Yeah, same. Same. Thank you. Oh, and I didn't even get to say your Jada's bio. Like Jada's a CEO and graphic designer of Jada's Infinite Designs. As a stay-at-home mom, she started her business to help her family financially and help other people with their businesses by providing them services to help their business grow. She graduated with a bachelor's in degree in art from Alverno College. Oh, here we have another person coming in. And she's freelance for several nonprofits and solopreneurs. Now she's taking her time to help other people through the art of graphic design. And we just had another person, Liliana, join us. Liliana, if you want to either put in the chat your intro and answer the question, what do you hope to take away from the class? Or you can unmute yourself as well. Your choice tonight. We're just going through our intros. You're more than welcome to have your camera off. Oh, I should ask you all. I'm so sorry, my interest. Does anyone need live transcript? No. Just put yes in the chat and I will put that function on if we need that. Okay, fabulous. Liliana, if you would like to introduce yourself, you're fine. Okay, well, we'll just continue with the class then. Thank you.
Alrighty, so I don't know if you guys can see in the chat. See, Araceli, she posted the PDF for today's class. So I don't know if you guys want to have that open and ready so you guys can use it for reference. I will be sharing my screen in a couple of seconds here. Let's see. Share screen. I need to share my screen. Share. Can you guys see my screen? Thumbs up if you can see it. Okay, awesome. Alrighty. So this might be in my way, so I'm gonna have to move you ladies. I don't know if you guys I don't know if you guys can see it. But I'm gonna have to minimize it. There you go. Hopefully that's not an issue.
It looks exactly the
Hmm.
same over here, just
It looks
letting you know.
exactly the same. Okay, good, good,
Mhm.
good. Put it down here. So let's start. So once you log into your Canva class, you should be, this should be blank. If you're new to Canva and you don't have any projects, this bottom part right here should be blank. Don't worry about it. Once you start creating different designs, they will be saved in the app and you can find them right here on the recent designs. So once you're logged into your app, you should see the screen and you will go right ahead and click on create a design. Here you have different options. You can either choose from the size they already provide, or if you already know the size that you need, which is in this case, you can go ahead and put it in the app. And for that, you can go down here where it says custom size. You click on here and you would use a size 1080 by 1080. Now, this is the actual size that you will be using for a Facebook and Instagram post, which is a square. So it will be 1080 by 10, 1080. And you will click on create new design. Whoop. And it should take you to this page right here. Now I already had a page open, so I'm going to, there you go. So it should be exactly the same size as, uh-oh, I don't know how to, okay, I'm gonna have to minimize it so that won't keep happening. So this is basically what I previously said, but I kind of started ahead a little bit. Okay. Now, let's see. I cannot see you, ladies. So it's hard for me. It's hard for me to see if you guys are posting questions on the chat. So if you do have a question, don't hesitate to ask. You can always open up your mic because I cannot really see the chat right now. Okay, so let's start with the, with the background. So we're basically going to be making an ad for a coffee shop.
And don't worry,
So
Jetta, if they do put something in the comments, like I'll interrupt us and then ask that question.
okay, awesome,
Yep.
perfect.
Yep.
So okay, we're gonna start with adding our main image to our ad. So for that, you're gonna want to go to photos, and after you click on photos, you are going to search for coffee, coffee background. Now for this one, I scrolled a little bit and I took my time to get the right image. So if you don't find the exact image that I have on the PDF, that is totally fine. As long as you have an image you feel comfortable with and an image that portrays the message that you want to give, you are okay. In this case, we're doing an ad for a coffee shop. So you want to incorporate something that has an image of a mug with coffee in it. A picture that makes you look at it and say, I want to buy a cup of coffee. So then you can persuade your viewer to actually go and do what the intent of the ad is, which is this case to make people buy coffee so that they can get a coupon. Let's see.
So everything that has like a little star on it, those are all pro, and they won't be
Mm-hmm.
available if you're on the free. Um,
Mm-hmm.
just wanted to reiterate that. So I'm assuming that's why we're going through all of these, because to kind of find, right, to
Yep.
find that right one. Yeah, and you can also upload though too, even on the free. So if you had your own high res picture of like coffee, oh, like that one with the heart.
This one is actually pretty cute. So I'm going to use this one. Now, if you get an image that is like this and it doesn't quite fit in your square, there's no problem with that. You can click right on the excuse me, picture. And do you see here on the corners these little lines and dots? The dots are to either make the image smaller or bigger, and the little lines in between are to make the picture either a rectangle or a square. Here we want to be able to fill out the entire space. So we want to make the picture look like a square. So we're gonna go ahead and click on the little lines down here in between these two dots. Now, my coffee mug is not right in the middle. So if I want to adjust the image, you can double click on the image and move it right where you need it. In my case, I want it up here. Right there. Now that you have your image, we are gonna go ahead and add our logo and our text. So let's go to your left bar right here where it says elements right under templates. I'm gonna click on that. And we are looking for an icon that we can utilize for a logo. Today, we're making a simple logo for a coffee shop. So we are going to search for a coffee cup. And one tip when you're creating quick logos, either for yourself, for a friend, or for your business, you always want your logo to represent what your company is about. So for example, if you're going to sell shoes, you don't want your logo to be a sun. Or if you are selling clothes, you don't want your logo to be a mountain, so on and so forth. So you want your logo to speak for itself and to be the face of your brand, basically. So here, oh, perfect, this one. Here I have a little cute little mug here with kind of like smoke coming out of it. I'm going to zoom in here because that's too tiny and I don't think you ladies can see that. So to zoom in right here where it says 31%, it says zoom, you can either type it in, select it, or play with this little bar right here. I usually go this way because it's faster for me. So we're gonna zoom in and we are going to change the color because if you can see that, that's black. It is has dark has a background and you want contrast so you can be able, or your audience can be able to see what you have in your image. So we're gonna zoom in. We're going to go right here where it says color. I don't know if you guys can see this little colorful square right next to edit image. You're gonna click there. And here you're gonna have many different palettes. Here we're gonna use a color that we can see against this dark background. So we're gonna use a light color. So remember this too, if you have a light background, you need your text and your elements to be dark. If you have a dark background, you need your elements and your pictures or your elements and your text to be light, if I'm making sense. Okay. So now that we have this one, And again, you don't have to have the same icon that I do. You can always pick something that you feel comfortable with and that works for you. Because I'm also noticing that my search results might not be the same as someone else's. So that's why I always say that we don't have to have the same icon as long as it works for you. So now we are going to add the rest. So the text for, or the name for the coffee shop, it's Borselle. So we're going to, again, on the left side of the screen, on the gray bar, you're going to go to text right under uploads. You're going to click on text. And I think, let's see, in this case, I'm going to use add a heading because I want it as big, well, maybe not that big. Let me zoom out. I want it as big as possible. Whoop. That's a preview of how it's supposed to look. That was an accident. I wasn't supposed to scroll up, but it's supposed to look, it's supposed to look something like something like this once we are done with the with the ad. Okay, so let's go and add our text. We're gonna click on it, and in all caps, we are going to type in the name of our coffee shop. Let's see. Now, I don't want it to be this big because that's too big. I want it for the logo. So I'm going to be changing the size and the font. The font that we're going to be using for the logo is called Cormorant SC Medium. If you are reading the PDF, you should also see it there just in case you need the spelling. So to change the text of a logo, how do we do that? Super simple. Or text, excuse me. So you click on your text. Then after that, right here, you're going to click on this down arrow. Then on the search bar for the text, you are going to type in the name for the text that you want if you have it. In this case, is Cormorant SC Medium. SC Medium right here. Now,
Tenemos una nueva estudiante.
oh,
I don't seem to have the option to change the color for logo. Never mind, I came up with the text. Just won't be happy to the logo. Okay. So you were able to change the color, Miriam?
I was able to change, thank you. I was able to change the color of the text, but not of the logo. So it's all good. I'm not going to worry about it, but I couldn't, it's like, it doesn't give me that option.
If you
So I
click
don't know if
on
that's
it,
because I don't have Pro.
no,
Yeah, I
no,
clicked on
we
it.
are working off of the free one, actually. This is the free version
Oh,
right now.
mhm.
Yep.
so
So,
weird.
no, well, why don't we go through that step one more time? And welcome to the new person who came in. Kenisha, Seth. Hi, Kenisha. Feel free to unmute. I'm going to add the PDF, Kenisha, that you need for the class. And welcome to the class. If you need me to utilize a transcription, I can. If you have any questions, just put it in the chat or unmute yourself. Feel free to raise your hand. There's also an option there for you. And welcome to our class. And let's go through that steps one more time.
So she cannot change, or let me see, she cannot change the color of the icon.
Yeah. Yep.
There are certain icons that you cannot change the color of. So if you
Okay.
click, yeah, if you click,
Oh, okay.
yep.
Thank you. That's helpful.
Yeah, no problem. So if you click on your icon and this little box is not there, or it just doesn't let you change
True.
the color, then unfortunately you're not going to be able to change the color of that icon.
Unless you did have Pro, and then there's something you can do,
Yep.
and it's a filter,
Okay.
but it looks really whack anyways.
That's helpful. I just thought I was kind of like crazy because I was like, why isn't my
Nope.
box popping up? So that's good to know.
Yeah. I thought
Yep.
you were using the same exact icon, and okay, never mind.
Okay. So if anybody else has any issues, please don't forget to ask. I would be more than happy to answer any questions. Okay. So now that we have our coffee shop's name, this is too big. So we're going to decrease the size. Now I have a specific size on the PDF for based on the image that I have, it might not work because my coffee mug is occupying a little bit more space than this one is. So I'm going to be adjusting the size to what I think fits with this image. And again, to increase or decrease the size of text, you can click on these little dots right here to make it either big or small. The difference between a text and an image, when you click on it to change the size, is that with text, let's see, if you go like this, you're not really elongating the text, if I'm making any sense. Like for example, let me do an image here real quick so you guys know what I'm talking about. Let's just do this one again. So with an image here, when you click on this little line, you can either crop it, make it big, make it small. The same thing does not work with text. Whether you make it big or small, the text itself will stay the same. So that's something to keep in mind. So let's see, let's just change the size here. And if you guys see, if you guys look for the font size here, it changes if I decrease it or increase it. So if you're happy with a certain size and you want to save it for later, it will be right up here. You can use that for reference. So let's say I want this to be this small and I want something else to be that size, the same size again. I can just utilize this size right here. Okay, now moving on to the other part of the logo. Just go back to your left bar and click on text. Again, I'm going to click on add a subheading and I'm going to click here and start typing. Now this is a logo for a coffee shop. That's exactly what I'm going to be typing here. Coffee shop. Oh, forgetting how to spell today. And again, I'm going to be decreasing my size to something I think will look more appropriate for my image. And I want to also change the font for this part of my logo. So again, I'm gonna click on the down arrow here and I'm going to type in Montserrat for, oh, let me spell it right. I probably didn't. I am not the greatest speller, so please excuse me. Let me see, M-O-N-T. Yep, right there, perfect. I'm going to put it right here, and there you go. You just created a really quick and simple logo for your coffee shop. Nice and simple and straight to the point. There you go, there you have it. Oh, another thing that I forget to mention. When you're moving an icon around your page, I don't know if you can see these little purple lines. This is Canva letting you know when you have things centered on your, on your, oops, on your Canva. So if you want to put it in the corner, it will let you know, okay, Yajaira, the corner is actually right there. So the purple line will highlight that. Or if I want it in the middle, Canva will let me know, hey, Yajaira, don't do nothing else. This is the middle, put it right here. I don't know if you guys can see that line going through the image. That's Canva letting me, yeah, that's Canva letting me know, okay, you have your icon right in the middle of the page.
you can also rotate it too.
Oh, yep.
And
I
then
don't know if you guys,
yeah.
yep. If you want to change the angle of it, you can always click on this little dot right here with the little arrows kind of going in a circular motion and just make it rotate. And if you don't know exactly at what angle, that is fine too. Canva lets you know at what angle you are actually putting your icon in. I want mine to be at 0 so it can be straight. And then this little cross is just to move it around too. Okay, let's see. Now moving on. Believe it or not,
Do you want to show them what that lock means?
the lock, let me see.
Yeah, because you almost locked the design. On
Oh, right
half.
here?
Yeah, that. What does
Yep.
that mean? I've never known.
No problem. So let's say you have a lot of layers. You have way too many things going on your design, and you want a specific element of your design to not move, so then you can work with your other elements. You will click on the, let's say I want to log this image. So you click on the image, element, or text that you want to log in. You click on the lock, and as you can see, it will lock the background. So when you're working on the things that you have on top of that image, your elements or icons here will move, but your image will stay intact.
Okay.
So that's what that little lock is for. Actually, I'm gonna leave it locked. Thank you for that, Araceli. And now we're going to be adding this part right here where you guys see 30% fresh coffee is here. And the same thing that we did to add the text for, oh, this doesn't look good. Okay, the same thing you did to add the text for the logo, it is the exact same thing you're going to do to add the rest of the text to your design. So you're basically gonna be going to, again, text on your left bar. You are going to, I'm going to select this instance. I'm going to be changing it later on. I'm going to be typing, you guys cannot see that. I'm going to be typing 30%. And I want this to be a different font. So, So again, I'm gonna click on the down arrow. I'm gonna go to my search bar here, and I'm going to type in Railway, which is the name of the font that I want to use. Let's see, Railway, there you go. And I want this to be big, nice and big so everybody can see it. So this one, the size for this, it's going to be 321. That's pretty big.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's really big.
Yeah, it's really
It's
big.
really, really big.
Oh, I'm not on mute. Okay, sorry.
Now, if you have this problem right here, let me zoom out so you guys can see my issue. You see how my numbers kind of like just went down instead of going towards the side? You're going to click on this line and you're going to elongate it just like that until you have it back to where you want it to be. I'm going to put it right under my logo. Gotta make sure that it's in the middle. Like, there you go. There you go. Now, I don't know if you guys can see I'm having issues with my contrast. When I first made the ad for the PDF, the image that I was previously using up here, I didn't have any issues because the background was, again, darker than my font. Here, the background and my font are light. So I either have two options. I can change the color of my font to a darker color to create contrast, or I can, let's see, decrease the opacity of my image. What is opacity? The opacity of an image is how clear or transparent an image is. So to change the opacity of my image, I'm going to click on my background and then go right here where it says transparency. And I'm going to decrease that. See, then I still have the issue with the contrast. So we're gonna have to go to click on edit image and click on contrast right where it says adjust. We want to make, let me see. I gotta think for this one. So contrast. Let's try. Oh, there you go. There you go. So we're gonna click on brightness, not contrast. Excuse that. And then we are going to decrease how bright the image is. So then I can still see my coffee, my pretty delicious coffee in the background, but I can also see the rest, which is what I needed in my case.
That's a really good hack. It really and this is the importance of working with like high res pictures. So watch out for that. Like this type of quality of like resolution and messing with the opaqueness, as she was saying, doesn't work with our uploaded pictures. So just wanted to make sure. No matter how much you try, sometimes if you're not with a high res, right, it won't.
Yeah, if your resolution it's not the correct one, it doesn't matter what you do to your picture, it's just not going to look right. So yes, Araceli, you got that right on point.
But this is awesome. I never even knew how to do that. Like I've always seen it done, but I'm like, wait, how did you do that? And it was the brightness where you.
Yep.
Yes, that was the key right there. Yup.
I think we'll want it a little, just a little itty bit more darker. Okay. Now, there's one more thing that we're gonna do with our 30%, and then we can move on. And believe it or not, we are almost done. We are almost done. Okay. So let's see. The same thing we did with the background, lowering the transparency, is the same thing we're gonna do with the text. So again, you're gonna click on your text. Yep, there you go. You're gonna click on your text. You are going to go right here next to animate where you have these 3 little dots where it says more. And then you're gonna go to transparency. And you are going to decrease the transparency to 28%. Now, on the PDF, I have 28% again because of the image that I had in the background. Here, the image and the brightness is completely different from the image that I used before. So instead of 28, I'm gonna use something that actually works for me here. So I believe in this case, it's gonna work for me, might not be 28, because that's, if I put 28, this is how it's going to look. For me, that's not visible enough, and I want to be able to still see it through my text. So I'm going to maybe put it, let's see. I think I'm comfortable with 50. It might change though once I put in the rest. So now we want to make it look like this, where it says fresh coffee is here. This same exact thing, but down here. So again, we're gonna go to text. We're going to click on add a subheading. I'm going to kind of move it down here so I can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to type in fresh coffee. Going to use, let me see, size 80. There you go. And up here. Size 80 and the font. Again, to change the font, you click on your text, click on the down arrow. You can either type it, or if you've already used it before, Canva will save that for you right here. I'm going to use the font called Railway. So there you go. Now, let's see. I'm going to increase the brightness of my computer. I believe I'm going to change my mind after I put the text on it. So 30% is going to have to go down a little bit. And that's another thing. When you're creating a design, you can play with it. You can make it as dark as you need it. You can make it as bright as you need it. You can go back and forth. As long as the final product is what you want and you are comfortable with it, you should be okay. Do not feel like, oh, I gotta have it like this, like this, like this, and I have to be strict with it. No, play with it. And once you have what you like, go with it. Okay. I'm gonna leave it on. Let's see. 27. I'm gonna leave it at 27. Okay, now last but not least, we're gonna type in this here. I'm gonna teach you guys a trick to save time. If you click on your text, you hit the control key, then you hit the letter C. That's going to copy your text. Now, if you hit control V, is going to paste it. That's going to allow you to move quickly. So let's see. Okay. Now for this one, we want this to say is here. So we're gonna go ahead and type this here with an exclamation point. And we want to use font size, again, big font size, 118 for this one. And we want to use the font called, the font called Holiday. Did I spell it right? Okay. There you go. Let's see. I'm going to, nope. Okay. So I want to move it up a little bit. So you should have something that kind of looks like this. Now we are going to add this bottom part, and I swear after this bottom part we are done, and I am open to absolutely any questions you ladies may have. So for this bottom part, really simple. This gray bar right here is your Canva's best friend. You're gonna find everything that you need on this gray bar. So you're gonna go on this gray bar and click on elements. I don't need that anymore. And we're gonna go to lines and shapes. If the shape that you need does not show, no issue. Click on see all, and then all of them will show up. But for this specific design, we want a square. Now this, we are going to turn it into a rectangle. And if you remember from our previous image, you can change the size. These little lines on the side. You can change a shape like this one and make it make a square into a rectangle, and the other way around. Here we want a rectangle, just like this. And we want to change the color of, we want to change the color of this shape. So to change the color of any shape, you're going to click on the shape. You're going to go up here where it says color. I'm going to click on that. And in this case, we're going to need the color white. So I'm going to click on that.
Yada, what do those three dots do?
Which ones?
Right there by the garbage can in the copy
Yes,
thing.
that is an option for more. So if you click on that, you can copy paste, you can delete, you can add a link, you can animate it to make it into a video, which is hint, going to be our next class. And you can actually add a comment. So if you're working with groups and you want to let your coworker know, hey, I have an idea for this, la, 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 you want to write a comment, you can click here and just type up your comment away and press comment, and your coworkers will be able to actually see that. And it's really cool because it adds like a chat section. So you and your coworker can actually just chat through there, which is kind of like a pretty cool feature that Canva has.
Right, because it's meant for you to co-create with like, whoever is helping you design or something of that sort. I also saw when you did that in the more, it said like animate, but then yeah, link. So when you do, I wanted to talk about that a little bit because like it only appears though, and I want to ask you, is it right? I don't know if I'm making this assumption, but I thought it was only like I could only link a link in there if I download it as a PDF, not if I were to download it as a PNG, which is what Instagram,
Yeah,
Facebook uses. That link doesn't transfer over. I just wanted to be clear with that because sometimes we see things like that. And we're like, oh, if people hit this
yeah,
picture
no,
online, it takes them to a website. That's very different function. This is not this. This is
yeah,
like for PDFs, right? Okay.
yeah. Unfortunately, I wish that could be a thing, kind of like give a purpose to an image by allowing someone to click on the link, but unfortunately, it only works for PDF. So if you were to add the link and save it to an image, unfortunately, your link is not going to work unless you have it as a PDF. Yeah. Canva needs to change that. Canva needs to change that because that would be a cool feature too. But maybe in the future, in 2030. Okay, now let's add our 30% off your next cup when you spend $12 and more down here. So I am going to sheet a little bit because I want to kind of like speed up. So I'm going to copy paste text. That's all I'm doing. So I'm going to click on my text, hit the control key and C for coffee, then hit control V for paste. And I'm gonna go ahead and type in, oh, I have to decrease the size a little bit so that I can see here, so that I can see, because I'm typing a whole sentence. So 30% off your next cup when you spend $12 or more. I cannot see what I'm typing after that. So I'm gonna move it up. There we go. $12 or more, exclamation point. Now I want this font to be small. So let's see. I want it to be, I think I'm gonna follow what I have on my PDF. And then if it's too small and too big, I'll change it. So on the PDF, I have 22.4. That might be a little too small. Let's just leave it there for now. And go ahead and change the color of the text. Again, to change the color of your text, you're going to click on this little A with a rainbow bar underneath it, right next to the size. I'm gonna click on text. Now for the color, I believe I have in a specific shade of brown that I want to use. So if you have the code for the color that you are going to use for your design, you can actually implement that code into Canva. To do that, you will click on the little square, rainbow square with a little plus size. And after you click on that, you are going to type in your code. You are going to type in your code as long as you have your code. If you're not a code person, don't worry about it. You can also look for the colors that you want another way, and I will show you right after I input this code. Let me just 1 second. 14, 13. I'm going to click enter. Now, if you don't know the code for a specific color, that is totally fine. You can go ahead again and click on add a new color. You can either use this rainbow bar right here to pick your specific color that you want to say, okay, I want blue, but I want a lighter shade of blue and I don't know my code. You can always move this little circle, it looks like a donut. Move it and get the right shade of blue that you want. And if you want to know the code for that, you can write it down and save it because Canva will tell you and it will show up right here. Okay, now, by showing you that, I accidentally changed the color of my font. So, see, let's click back. See if that did it. Okay. Now, this is too thin. You cannot read that. And if you cannot read it, your clients can read it. Nobody on social media cannot read it. So that's another thing. When you're creating your design, if you feel uncomfortable or if you cannot read it, the same way that you feel about your design may also be the same way the viewer is going to feel about it in terms of whether they can read it, whether it's confusing, whether it's too big or too small. So also have that in mind when you're creating your design. If you're not comfortable, the viewer might not be comfortable neither. So always change it. Don't be afraid to be creative. So for this part, to solve that problem, we're going to put it in bold and we're going to increase the size of it so it can be easier to read. I'm going to put it in the middle right here. And another quick tip, and then I'll be open for questions. If you want to highlight a couple elements at once, you can click on your image and drag. You see these? I don't know if you ladies can see this little square or rectangle right next to the brain fart. My arrow here. There you go. You can actually select more than one thing by dragging it on the opposite side of your text or your icon and covering the entire thing, ladies. And I don't know if, is there any gentlemen in here or just ladies? Just ladies? Okay, ladies. Ladies. This will save you time. Don't forget to write it down that it's not on the PDF. So you select it just like that. And by doing that, you can actually group it too. So if you click on this little 3 little dots here and go to group, you can group it and move everything at once so that you don't have to click one element at a time to move everything. So ladies, write that down, write it down.
That's awesome. Oh my gosh. You just blew my
Right? That's just like when you learn to group them. And I didn't even know you could do that on the free version, folks. Like
yes,
I always thought
yes.
you only could do that on the pro version. So
there's a lot of things you can do with the free version.
yeah, like I'm seeing animate, and you can animate now in the free version, all that. And that's going to be very helpful when we're doing our next class, which is the video making story class. Anyhow.
Yeah, but yeah, it should look, I mean, the one that I have on the PDF is 100% better looking than this one. But how I made this one was the exact same way I made this one. So yeah, you should have something that either looks like this, or if you were trying to make it look like the one that's on the PDF, you should have something that looks like this. And now I'm open to any questions, or if you notice that I missed something on the PDF and you want to address it, please do so. I'm going to go back on the screen here. So let's see, I need to flip it. Let's see. Oh, can you ladies see me? Am I on the screen? Yes. Okay, good. So yeah, I'm open to any questions that you ladies may have. If I miss anything, anything,
Do you want to go
free to.
back to the? Should we still have you on Canva, or do you want to go back to the
Oh,
whiteboard?
yep, I can go back to Canva. Let's see.
Okay.
I'm ready to see. Share my screen. Share. Uh-oh, did that work? No. Share. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Or wait, can you guys see my screen, or you guys are seeing me?
No, we can see your screen. It's
Oh,
very
okay.
tiny. There it is. Now it's
There you
good.
go. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So now.
Yeah. If anyone has any questions, feel free to just unmute and just go at it. A lot of my questions have been answered, but thank you so much. Yeah.
No, that was just really super, super helpful. Thank you so much. I learned a bunch of little tricks, and doing it together made me feel less scared than doing it on my own.
This was really good. I learned at least a couple of things. No, I can see Araceli now.
Yeah, that's exactly what I want. I think it's phrasing a little bit.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to next the pro version of the Canva. Yeah. Yeah, I'll admit I knew kind of a lot of the basics, but I did learn a couple of new tricks.
Okay.
Awesome. That's good. That's
good. The
good.
grouping, right? The grouping really, and I think to the fading and like knowing how to really adjust.
Oh no, the grouping,
colors.
the fading, the grouping I knew. I also did not know that you can adjust the picture by double clicking on it right in the beginning, what you showed.
Yeah.
That is something that I've struggled with. It's like you blow up, but then I lose the other part of the,
Yep.
like, no, I want that. But if I move it here, it's like, oh no.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that will, yeah, thank you for that.
Yep, no problem.
Absolutely. No, I love it. I love it.
And thank you for arranging this, Araceli. I love that. I look forward to the next class.
Yeah, so the next one's like, yeah, we'll do like how to do videos and stuff like that. So if you're really looking forward to the next one, I would already
videos. Yes.
Yes. So take mini videos if you want and upload them to your Canva so you'll have it ready for this class next week.
I have lots of videos on there. I do have I have issues. I know this is not a Canva thing. It's the Pinterest to uploading, but when I make my pins in Canva, upload the video and then uploading it to Pinterest, that's an issue for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So did you hear that, Yetta? So maybe something we can maybe investigate between now and then. Like, what are kind of like workarounds for the Pinterest? I'm assuming that it's a type of video that you're uploading and downloading it in, and there are
Could be.
ways.
I am not a tech person. I'm just kind of learn as I go.
Right, because there's like probably two ways of downloading a video, but we can talk more about that next week.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm like just touching on my pain point here.
And then after, no, we want to hear it. And then after that, we're gonna do the storytelling video class. So you'll learn how to kind of maneuver one, and then what do you want to like look at one? How do we tell a story through video? And that's gonna be another
That would
class
be
with,
great.
yeah. So if you look back on the links, you'll see her class with Jamie Perez. She used to work for Channel 3000 and stuff. So yeah.
Okay.
And definitely, Miriam, I'll be recording. That's why we recorded this week's class. It just might take me a minute to put it up on our YouTube as probably an unlisted video, because then it's just like whoever knows that video link. It just depends what I want to. But yeah. Thank you. It's all good. Yeah, well, it's coming up on that hour, and it sounds like we have everyone's pain points down. Shall we close shop?
Yeah.
Yada? Yada?
Yeah, if there's no more questions, I will 100% see you ladies on the next class. Thank you so much for
Sounds good.
coming
Thank
to this
you.
one.